You look facing more this way.
I think you look good. You look handsome and stately. Nice. We're live streaming, just like my YouTube rep wanted us to. Do we look good?
We're doing it. Is engagement up?
I bet you 17 people have already smashed the like button. How was your day? Your day was good?
Yeah, I mean, we just had this conversation at Double. We can
They
rehash
weren't here
it
for
right
it,
now,
though.
though.
They weren't here for it. So as you guys know, Paulo works a 9 to 5. He said it's very draining. But he doesn't want to work for me because I'm, I've got
sure most of you can
issues.
relate that working a 9 to 5 is not fun.
My job is hard.
I'm part of the rat race. I am a piece in the machinery and the capitalism.
A cog in the machine.
Yes, exactly. I am a cylinder in the capitalism
You're
engine.
a well-oiled cog, though. You do all right. You do all right.
I'll turn this down.
Okay, I think
Shall we start?
we shall start.
Life updates.
So yeah, thank you everyone for being here. This is kind of how we're going to do this. We're going to start, there are going to be like 3 sections basically. We're going to talk about what's been going on the channel lately, things that have been happening in our life, and so on. We're going to cover a few of the most relevant news pieces. The aim is to do one of these once a month. So over the past month or 6 weeks really, I've been keeping track of like interesting news updates, new cars, launches, that sort of thing. And then at the end, we want to take some questions from you. So we've got Paulo's phone here. We're going to monitor the chat and everything. So I think we'll start with a couple life updates. You guys will have probably seen on the channel that I have had my M340 for, it's probably been 8 months now. But I did a 7-month update because I was late to the 6-month update. And if you haven't watched that video, the short story is that the car has been great. There was one weird thing with the sunroof that like a piece of like a fairing cracked underneath it.
You fixed yourself.
But I was able to figure out what the problem was and I fixed it myself. I brought it into the techs, so they took a look at it, but it was fine. There was nothing broken at the time, so they were like, what do you want us to do? But the car has been great. Great fuel economy, great performance. The ride is still really harsh. The exhaust is too loud. But I have the resonator kit.
Not?
I have the resonator kit that's going on this Tuesday. So
You know what's funny?
I'll post an update when that goes on.
I was driving behind you today, and I said, it gave me deja vu to some old film I saw of a Model T and like the skinny wheels.
Oh my god.
And I was like, that's what it reminds me of.
Do we have any other jokes in the arsenal? It's
No,
just bicycle tires.
Because that's basically the only thing I can.
That's all you need.
That's the only thing I can rib you on.
I built a
and
shed.
the crazy thing is you can actually fix that. You could fix that.
I'm choosing not to.
Yeah, no.
I'm making a very conscious decision
not to. Yeah.
Because, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell everyone here why.
Fuel economy.
Fuel economy.
Lame.
Because it's not an M3. I don't drive it like it's an M3. I don't drive it a lot as it stands. I'm driving press cars all the time anyway. So when I do need to drive my car, it's usually long distances. I'm already kind of like carred out for the week a little bit. And so I just kind of get in and cruise.
Yeah.
It's done all of the track stuff that I needed to do, unless we put like different tires on it maybe. I don't envision taking it on the track that much more.
About the shed? You said shed.
So I did build the shed.
Okay.
Where the old Bridgestones are now living. And you had something clever to say about it. You said, look at all that rubber in there.
Yeah.
So the tires live in the shed now. But anyway, so the 7-month update is, I've done like 5,000 miles on the car. It's been great, reliable, nothing's rattled loose. It's fun. It's a perfect balanced car. It just kind of is. It's great fuel economy, great performance, big back seat, trunk, works for all the stuff that I needed to work for. You'll also probably have seen, I think it was earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, Sadie and I went to Oregon. And we went to do like some beach camping in the Pacific Northwest with our friends at Super Pacific. They let us take their Switchback X1 camper out to Fort Stevens. We got to drive the trucks on the beach, which was like the first time I'd ever done that. It was really cool.
Tacoma, yeah.
Yeah, it was on a Tacoma, and it's like a bed capper thing with like a wedge-style tent. Really, really, really cool. If I was gonna build like you know how I never built my 4Runner Overlander?
I think that was your vision with the 4Runner.
That would have been it.
Yeah.
That would have been the thing. And like living with it for 3 days or whatever it was, like living in it, I was like, this is, like without going for like a full van setup, that's like the best way to do it. Because you can pop the tent up, pop it down, and like
Yeah, you could still
30
stand.
seconds.
You could stand up there.
Yeah, it's super versatile. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you again to Super Pacific. That was really cool.
Yeah, it looked
really
like a
fun
blast.
experience. Portland as a city. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a lot of homeless.
Looks like.
But the
interesting
donuts
city.
were fire. They were really good.
Yeah, and that was interesting. I caught that. I did not know you were a big donut connoisseur guy. You never talk about donuts with me. I never hear you talk about donuts. You literally
I've
never talk
closeted
about
that
donuts.
part of myself.
Do you
That
like,
was my coming out to you.
Do you like cronuts? Cronuts are good.
What's a cronut?
You've never had a cronut.
Is it like a croissant
See,
donut?
that's how I know that you're not a donut guy.
This is nonsense.
You've never had a cronut?
Don't fall for this hype. Okay, so what is it then? I've heard the term.
It's a donut croissant.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's
so I
just-
have had that.
You have? Okay.
Yeah. It's like a thin kind of. It's like a croissant that's glazed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I've had that.
Good, right?
It is good.
Yeah.
It's like light, flaky. I do like a
Yep.
croissant. But
Also
yeah,
like cake donuts.
horrible. You know what's good? Timbits.
Oh, yeah.
Shout
They
out,
had one over there?
Shout
Yeah.
out to our Formula One
Crew?
trip to Montreal last year. Shout out to Zach if he's watching, and Kai, I guess. But Zach reps the Timbits harder than anyone,
Yeah.
so I respect the hell out of Zach for
He goes
that.
to Canada a lot for those.
That's pretty cool. Yes,
okay,
you
my
have news.
thing
Big
is,
news.
I mean, not that big of a news. We bought
Kinda
my
big-
wife.
Wait, is your mom watching?
No,
Okay.
she won't watch it. We bought my wife an X3 M40. So it was kind of exciting.
It is exciting.
Essentially-
How's it been so far? How long have you had it? It's been like 2 months.
Yeah, just over 2 months.
And has it thrown any codes since you've had it?
Yeah, and how did I remedy those? So it did throw a code. It threw a engine. I'm trying to remember it was like a malfunction code related to the engine, and they
I just
recommend.
realized that our Siberian music was still playing.
But it's nice and calming.
It's nice. It's
soothing,
really
isn't
calming.
it?
It had some ambiance.
Yeah. Now I feel lost. I forgot where I was. Now I forgot.
You were
It was
talking about your engine
polyrhythmic.
codes.
It was polyrhythmic.
Alright,
I need
I'll
it
throw it
back
back
on.
on.
You could just turn
You're
it
gonna
down
get
a little bit.
demonetized now.
No, we won't. It threw an engine code, and I was really nervous. I took it to a place right down the street,
You
a
were
shop.
so nervous that you did what?
Okay, just listen. When I went online,
He's gonna
people
tell
were
a story,
saying,
then I'm gonna tell how I heard
no,
it.
just people were saying it potentially is like a misfire. So I smashed the accelerator to see if I could feel a misfire, and I didn't. Also, the engine light came on for 3 seconds and it went away. Anyway,
This is
before you
not
tell
how it
the
was
story-
described to me. It
Before
was
you tell the
described to
story.
me in 2 parts. 1, an engine light showed up. Step 2, hard launches.
Yeah.
That was the exact quote. I did some hard launches, and I was like, how is that gonna solve an engine code?
If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down guns blazing.
That,
But
if that's not you, I swear.
so I took it to a shop like right down the street to just assess if they could just tell me more information about the code. And they were able to get like one of their BMW techs in there, and they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be $4,000 to replace." It was some like
It was like a heat management.
heat
something.
management valve, and it was like right in the center of the engine, and it was gonna be insanely expensive. So then I called the dealership that I bought it from, and it was still under a 1-month warranty, and
Yeah.
they said they wanted me to bring it in. I drove it in, and then it basically ended up being a software glitch that was causing the issue.
I mean, that's nice. So it was covered under warranty.
Yeah, they just had to update the latest software,
Yeah.
clear the code,
It's been
haven't
fine
seen
since.
it again. We did have a nail in the tire, and then we went off of run flats. And I was actually going to talk to you about this. I didn't notice too much of a difference in the ride, because I don't have the adaptive suspension. You don't.
I think, yeah, the X3
You
just
said you-
inherently has more suspension travel.
You said
So it's
you
more forgiving.
noticed it a lot more than...
There's a huge noticeable difference between mine.
Yeah, I didn't notice it as much. But yeah, we're getting like 28 mpg,
It's amazing.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you
For
put
like
it
almost 400 horsepower.
right, well more, on paper less, but
Sure.
I feel like BMW always
Sorry,
undersells.
yes, you're right. You're right. Excuse me.
But yeah, you put it in a sport and it just like comes alive.
The ZF is great.
Great
Chassis
exhaust
great.
notes. Yeah, it looks great.
You said you need an AWE. You need to throw an exhaust on it.
The AWE, I don't think makes an exhaust for it, unfortunately. There's some other ones that do
Somebody
valves.
has
Some of them
to,
do valves,
right?
but I don't really think we'll end up. We got like the shadow line trim.
Yeah. It looks, yours is a tasty spec.
Yeah.
It's Alpine white with the shadow line. You've got carbon fiber on the inside. It's a tasty spec for sure. Big panel roof.
Yeah,
big back seat.
Yeah, we really like it so far.
That's great. You guys took it up to the Apostle Islands, Door County, something like that.
Yeah, did really well. The driver assist features aren't the best. Like, it has the lane keep assist. That's not that great.
It's not the Assist Plus. Mine has jack shit nothing.
You don't even have lane.
I've got the same cruise control that comes on like a 2000
You don't even have
Hyundai
adaptive.
Elantra.
You don't even have adaptive. Yeah.
No, I'll run into somebody.
That is crazy.
Almost $50,000 car doesn't have adaptive cruise.
Some other highlights. We've had some firsts on the channel related to new cars on the channel.
Yes. So
new manufacturers.
Our first Acura loan, that's coming. It's sitting on my desktop right now. We had a TLX Type S, so that's coming. We're going to do we've shot a standalone review with that, and also our first three-way head-to-head, where we did TLX versus M340 versus G70, which just worked out perfectly. That they all compete, really. And that was an interesting kind of thought experiment. So stay tuned for that. We'll have like a TLX week, so it'll be standalone and then the three-way.
Yeah, but essentially, I think we had like each car represents its own sub-segment within the segment.
Yeah,
which was
they're all different points on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So it's really like kind of what you want. So yeah, we won't give too much away, but that was cool. And then outside in the driveway right now, we have another first, which is
Land Rover Defender.
Land Rover Defender 110 County Pack, which is a weird thing. I kept thinking they were going to say country, and it was just spelled wrong, but no, it's county. It got white Steelies on it. There's a blue roof. It's cool. I like it. So
it's different.
The premise of the video, I just shot some stuff about it today. The premise of the video, as you guys know, we kind of like make reference to other cars in the segment. So earlier this year, we were in the Lexus GX, which, as I've spent more time with the Defender, kind of emerges as its most true rival. It's not really a Bronco competitor. It's not really a Wrangler competitor. Those are kind of their own things with the roof that comes off, the doors come off.
Yeah.
It's not really a G-Wagon competitor because, well, the G-Wagon is like 50 grand more.
Right.
And whatever. I think if you go for the Land Rover Defender Octa, which is like here's everything. We got forged carbon, big off-road wheels, 4.4, the same engine that's in the X6M, like the BMW 4.4 twin turbo. That engine's in that car, and then that's where the G-Wagon starts. So you get the whole lot of Land Rover for where the G-Wagon starts. And the G-Wagon doesn't come with a V8 as standard anymore. It's a 3-liter straight six.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Which I'm sure is fine, but it's just not.
Have you driven that yet?
G-Wagon?
Yeah.
Yes, I drove
the
not the brand new one, not the 2025, but they're the same.
Yeah.
I've driven the engine before. I've driven the G-Wagon before. The most recent G-Wagon I drove was actually the 4x4 squared, which is like the huge, crazy. And it was like green with like red seat belts. It looked like the Grinch Stole Christmas and a G-Wagon.
I didn't like your color combination, but it was a cool vehicle. You drove a Slingshot.
I drove a Slingshot.
And you went to Costco.
You didn't drive. Yeah. So I took a Slingshot.
And you wore a helmet.
Yes, Polaris is very serious about safety. And they say you have to wear a helmet at all times. And I had to sign the most robust waiver I'd ever seen. But I did have a Slingshot for 2 weeks. My wife was so embarrassed to have it that she elected to have her car sit in the driveway so we would hide the Slingshot away in the garage. Which I get. That's kind of the thing about the Slingshot. It's like, it gets made fun of a lot. If you really don't care about that, though, and you're just wanting to go for like a rip, it's really fun.
I feel
it's really fun to drive.
At least in Wisconsin, I feel like there's a certain type of person that drives a Slingshot.
Yeah.
And it's not anyone I really would like to associate with.
I'm not having beers with Slingshot owners, generally speaking, but it is fun to drive. You just have to not care what people think. So I did take it to Costco, and I did my normal like weekly haul that I would have done, just to see if it fit, and it did. I ended up driving back with, like raw chicken breast in the footwell, but it was fine.
It worked.
It was fine.
Someone said that you can retrofit driving assist professional.
Oh.
Wait, maybe you know. I was trying to look
for the X3 or the M40.
The
M340.
No, for you, yeah, the M340.
Okay.
I was trying to look at. Kaylee's car doesn't have. Does yours have remote start?
Yes, it's in the app.
Mine doesn't for some reason.
Ooh, so you're poor. I'm just kidding.
Wow, what?
Does it not have it in the app though?
No.
Seriously?
It was a year after they
What year is
implemented
yours?
it. 21, same as yours. But they do the refresh cycles at different times.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a way to retrofit that. I think there is, but I'm wondering how much that would be.
That seems like it would just be a
I
software
did some
patch.
research. You could buy this kit. I think it's $1,000, but you like put a spare key essentially in this box, and then you like connect it to your one of the control panels or like the ECU or something, and then it's like a way to
This
like
is just a remote start.
yeah,
That seems like a
lot.
long walk
Yeah.
for a short drink of water.
it is. I'll admit it is.
I'll tell you one thing that I am enjoying right now lately though is using my phone as a key. I didn't trust it, but like I've had to move my car out of the driveway while I'm like building the shed or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got my phone with me, and that's been like really convenient.
Do you
I
have
would have
to-
never thought that I would use that feature.
You can't just get in and start it. You have to like do something.
I
on
have to
your
put
phone.
it. No, I just have to put my phone on the wireless charging pad
Oh, that is nice.
in front of the cup holders, and
That
then
is
I don't
nice.
have to even like open it or unlock it. Then it's good to go.
That is pretty slick.
It's nice. So the slingshot is good. That video will be coming out. It's fun to drive. It's not as fun to be seen in. Next update, we're going out to LA to drive some stuff in the end of the year. Maserati. There's a
Yeah.
few Maseratis. Grecale Trofeo, Gran Turismo Trofeo, MC20, which is their like mid-engine supercar.
That
looks incredible.
That's what I'm excited.
And the MC20 Cielo, which is the drop top
We said maybe some Porsches.
one. Yes, Porsche. We have a new Porsche rep, and they don't have any Porsches in Chicago, which doesn't surprise me. But he said if we wanted to drive some, let him know, and they'll be available in Atlanta, Detroit, or LA. So inside baseball, it's gonna get colder here in Wisconsin. They lock up all the fun cars for the winter so people don't crash them. Seems reasonable.
Did you say inside baseball?
Yeah, that's like the behind the scenes. It's a term. You know these terms, right?
Yeah,
You're familiar.
I've heard that one before.
He knows.
I know that one.
But yeah, so the behind the scenes is we have to go to nicer places in LA. And LA has the biggest press fleet anyway. So if we want to drive what we want to drive, we have to go out there. So we'll spend a bunch of time out there driving some cool stuff. There's also going to be like a vintage Gen 1 Bronco through Velocity Restorations that we're going to try to get our hands on.
I want to know what else they have.
They've got Mustang. They've got like a C10. They've got like a Harvester Scout.
An old Mustang would be
Old
cool.
stuff. It's cool. They look really cool, and they look like they're done well. So I'm excited about that. What's the last question for life updates?
Someone said, "Hey guys, love the content. Thank you. $30,000 best car, SUV, and truck. New or 5 years old? Oh, new or between 5 years old. No experience with a manual, but want to learn. Wants
He had a
good
Ford Focus
handling.
SE. Dude, shout out to you. What's his name? John. My wife, when I met her, had a
Martino.
Ford Focus hatchback SE in candy blue. That thing handled well.
So,
that was a good handle.
I don't know. Does he still want?
Yeah,
he
I
wants
guess-
an SUV. Oh, so now he wants an SUV or a truck. Okay, and no experience with a manual. Well,
That's
I don't know if you want experience. Do you want a SUV truck manual?
I think the question becomes like best all around car
For
SUV
$30,000
truck
that's used,
that's used within 5 years.
new or within 5 years, I would.
I'm assuming, do you want it to be like relatively sporty, or do you just want it to be like good at everything?
I guess I would say like a CX-5.
CX-5 is a great choice.
RAV4.
RAV4 is a great choice.
Huge on reliability with both of those.
5th gen Tacoma. I would not.
Yep.
I would not touch the new F chassis stuff from Toyota.
No, not yet at least.
Not
All the
yet.
recalls that they've had.
Ford F-150, you can't go wrong. Especially with the hybrid. We just had to go on
Yeah,
the hybrid. The hybrid is
insane
really
MPG.
good.
What was it? Was it like in high 20s?
It's like mid-20s.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's
And the Blue-
and you get the
Blue
power
Cruise.
boost, so you get the onboard generator thing.
The Blue
if you can
Cruise.
get it, yeah.
But Super Cruise is actually better. Well, they have more highway.
Sure. But I think the F-150 is a better package.
Yeah.
Just
agreed.
because for me it really boils down to like the Pro Power onboard, the onboard generator thing. Like we lose power here at least once a year, so to have like a generator built into my truck that's sitting in my garage and I can just go, okay, here we go.
Yep.
Here's my sump pump. Huge deal.
One of the craziest things that like I've learned in the last probably month and a half, when we had the Hummer EV, to charge that thing,
Oh my God.
it is the equivalent
Yeah, we did the
of
math on this.
charging the average U.S. house for a whole week.
Yeah.
Which is just insane to me.
Yeah, think about your house. Like, what do you do in a week in your house? You do dishes, you do
Yeah,
laundry,
hot water heater,
a few
heater,
loads.
AC,
Yep. Shower,
lights.
like all of it. Rendering image and video,
entertainment.
exporting. Yeah, so much stuff. So doing all of what you do in your house existing for a week gives you
it's just
300
insane.
miles of range
I mean,
on your Hummer EV.
To me, it's like you're essentially having a Hummer EV is the essential equivalent of having a house, because that's how much it's going to cost
It's
you
going to
in
cost you that much,
electricity.
and it's going to cost you that much to buy too.
Right, but like think about it, because you're probably charging 4 times a month.
Yeah.
Right.
In theory, yeah. I mean, we
Just
talked
about
about this a lot actually. We sat in the parking lot as we were shooting. We talked about it a lot. I'm like, like the more I drove it, the longer I lived with it, the more I was like, this is not like a practical day-to-day like vehicle. Like for me, or even Sadie now, when she goes to work, like she couldn't make that commute and back and then go to bowling and back and like know that she's going to have enough juice to go to work again tomorrow.
And it takes so long to charge.
It takes that long to charge. There's so much battery. There's so much charging.
Crazy thing is, I see a lot of them. There's like 3 at my gym.
I see a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch around here. Yeah. I don't know what those people are doing. They must have short commutes. That's the only way it makes sense.
I guarantee you they have more than... They have fuck you money. I bet you they have more than just that.
For
That's
sure.
not their daily.
Because the people
Not
that I'm
only
thinking
mine.
of on Lake Drive, they have that. They have like a Lincoln Navigator Black Label. They've got at least 2 other things in the driveway, and they have like a Mickey Mouse thing on their mailbox, which is probably too much information.
I needed that in the story.
Okay.
That really helps paint
It's good
the
to
picture
have
for me.
context.
It
right?
is. You're right.
These are the people you're dealing with. These are Mickey Mouse enthusiasts. But no, the Hummer it's a novelty to me. You could get away with it, but you got to really know what you're getting into. But I did like it. Like it was kind of fun. It had that like novel aspect, the air suspension all the way up and down, the crab walk. Like I'm never going to use these things.
I thought it was cool to see what they could create, because it was so ridiculous. To me, it was almost like not the same equivalent, like a way smaller downscale of what I'm about to say, but like going to the moon.
Well, the interior wants you to think that you've gone to the moon.
Right. Just like, I mean, even look at the engineering behind the suspension in that thing. And like the
even
fact...
just to control 9,000 pounds as it goes down the road is amazing.
But it is kind of scary to me, concerning that in the winter you're going to have that sliding on ice potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like,
a lot of
tires,
mass.
rubber is only rubber. Like, physics is only physics to a certain degree. Like, you got to get all that weight slowed down on black ice. That's scary. Yeah. That's real scary.
Okay, last question we had is, and Matt and I have this conversation quite often.
Daily.
Because it's like a fun
I think everyone
thing
has this conversation.
to discuss.
Yeah, it's a fun thought experiment.
Yeah. And
what
daydream
car
about.
would you buy next?
Yes.
Or what car will you buy next? Or what are you looking at? In my situation isn't necessarily what are you going to buy next. It's what are you currently fixated on. So I have ADHD, which means I'm constantly obsessed with something that I should not be doing or should not be thinking about.
And it changes a lot.
And almost all of the time, it has to do with how can I spend all of my money in one sitting?
Yes.
What does that house cost? Could I buy that house? What is this car? Should I buy this? Should I buy this? Should I invest in this? So it becomes this game of like, I'm always looking at cars, I'm always looking at whatever. If you guys watch the channel, obviously, and you're here, so you probably do. I said that I'm gonna buy the Ioniq 5N, which I still think I will. I don't know when, I don't know what circumstance. They just came out with the new 2025 refresh that has the NACS port, the Tesla port.
That's nice.
Which I think is going to be huge. And the XRT, which looks heinous. We'll talk about it when we do news, but I still think that's a really, really good car. Really, really good car. I also randomly considered, I've got a little thing on my wall, Mercedes E63 AMG wagon. Because who hasn't thought about owning one of those?
Wait, but...
Iconic. I've also thought about owning a Lexus LC500.
No, but like, what are you actually considering? You're going to first lease a car.
Ioniq 5N.
You want to lease an Ioniq 5N?
Lease is the smart way to do EVs, at least that one. Because you can get, I did the math on this. The car itself is going to cost $67,000, $68,000 if you go and buy it in cash, right? If you lease it and you make all the payments, the upfront costs and everything, and then you do the buyout at the end, at least this was true when we shot it. Maybe it's changed now. But when we shot it, when I took like that snapshot in time, it was like $6,000 cheaper to lease it with the tax credit and then buy it out at the end than to just buy it in cash that day. So why wouldn't you lease it?
Yeah, that is interesting. So that's what you would get next.
I think so. Yeah. I genuinely want to test drive like the EV experience, like having one long term, having it for a year, doing the winter thing. And like I have a very non-grueling lifestyle. I don't need to commute anywhere. I work here.
Right.
Like this is my office right here. And so like I just want to see how it would go.
Yeah.
Like I would just take a day, drive up to our cottage, and then just see if it could do it. Because if I have to stop and charge, then I have to stop and charge. But then at least we know.
Yeah.
So what would you do next?
I really like the Ioniq 5N too.
You said that you would buy one, which I was a little surprised about.
Yeah, but then I definitely don't think it would be my next car. And I think I'd rather get the Vision 74, the Vision 74.
Yes, which we will
Um,
also talk about in a little bit.
But I think realistically, it would either be all used, by the way,
Yes.
like an M3 competition,
Yeah.
maybe like a 23 or 24. This is in like a few years. But that I just loved that. It was like
It
the
was such a good
perfect
car.
balance of comfort, livability, especially with the adaptive suspension, incredible fuel economy, but just rip your face off power. It had decent fuel economy. No,
Like low 20s.
yeah, I mean not as good as the M340, but
That was the biggest.
The only
that was
thing.
the only thing where I was like,
Yes.
okay, this is the only pitfall of the M3. I expected it to be
Great
way
space.
harsher on the road. I expected it to kind of rattle around a little bit more because it's so stiff.
yeah, but
And
that
it
wasn't the
didn't.
case. No.
It was better on the road than mine. It was fast as shit. And the only downside of it was that it was thirsty and it has that face.
Yes. So it's that or the M850, which I think
I do like an M850.
looks incredible, and it would be 8.
And it sounds good.
Yes.
When those first came out, I remember I was at IA, International BMW, and like I forget what I was doing. I was going with somebody to put fuel in a car, and they were in an M850 convertible ahead of me, and I had the windows down, and they just got on it. Oh, it sounded
Yeah.
good from behind.
Yeah, so
And I'm all about the sound.
I feel like I like unique cars, and to me that's a pretty unique looking car, and I think it looks better than the M3, especially the front page.
It does. I would say the 8 Series, I like it in the Grand
I feel
Coupe.
like it's slept on.
It
I
is.
feel like
It's
8 Series is slept on.
It's big and it's GT-ish. So when you have an M badge on it, people are like, oh, it's heavy. There's a new new M5, which we'll talk about later. But like, it's slept on because it's a GT car, not a sports car.
Right.
But doing soul searching and growing up, I'm in my 30s, and I don't like to be tossed around and jostled around and rattled around as much. I like a GT car. I love an LC500. I love an M850. It's the perfect little balance. You've got great power, great sound, good space, really luxurious, great tech,
Yep.
for less money and more comfortable than the M8.
Yeah, I know, and like,
No one has one, which is cool.
You can buy a 21 right now for like 40, 50K, which to me is not bad.
Yeah.
All right, we should
What else
get
would you buy?
comments, and then we should get through news because it's already 7:30.
Do you have any other things that you're thinking about buying?
No.
He's reading. It takes up a lot of his mental capacity.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm not thinking about buying anything else.
So it's either M850 or
How was
Hyundai
your-
Ioniq 5N.
So someone shopping for an M340, how was your experience dealer-wise, searching-wise? Were you looking for a specific feature? I think you should just quickly hit the highlights of what you recommend getting, and I feel like you should just use like Car Gurus or Cars.com.
Yeah, when I was looking, I live in Milwaukee, and basically, if you want to buy a used car, that's even relatively interesting. You have to go to Chicago because that's where all the cars are, or sometimes they're in Madison, but they're almost never here. So I ended up going to Motorworks of Barrington. I worked with this lovely woman. She was very nice. We handled basically everything over the phone. Then I got in the car, went down there. But I searched on Auto Tempest because they pull in all these different places. So that was really nice to have all those search results right there. I wasn't necessarily looking for any specific feature, I guess. I had a spec in mind of the look. I liked the white, I liked the carbon accents, and that's what I got.
But what would you recommend? I think it's Adaptive Cruise and M Sport, or sorry, M Exhaust.
Yeah, I could kind of take or leave the M Driver Assist Professional, whatever the hell. But Adaptive Cruise is a must. It's a must. Because like I don't have it, And I went for a ride today before we got dinner, and like, I'm bouncing around.
Yeah, you said cruise, you meant suspension though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Get the adaptive suspension. I would also seriously look into the Vernasca leather, getting the upgraded leather package. I mean, you can throw like a seat cover on it, I guess.
It just feels cheap in yours though.
It kind of takes away from like the luxury car
Yeah.
experience when you have this like vinyl-y kind of interior. It's still fine, like it's still good. It's
Someone
still fun.
said, why the Ioniq 5 Tesla Model S Raven from 2020 are going for 40K? Yeah, it's just not as fun. The whole point of the Ioniq 5N is, and maybe you misheard, Ioniq 5N, not Ioniq 5.
Yeah.
The N mimics the same experience almost as like an ICE.
It's got the shifting and the sounds.
Yeah, the shifting and the sound.
And I know that that's a hot button issue for some people. Some people be like, why is it cosplaying as an ICE car? I look at it as, if we're going to go down the EV road,
Yeah, make it
would I
fun.
rather have them all be silent and fast as shit, or would I rather have it be
Have
a
a
little bit
personality.
slower, because I really don't care,
Yeah.
and then have some sound and
And
some
personality.
shifting, and then like it cosplays as an ICE car so
Really well, yeah.
so well. The sound needs work.
It does.
The
It's
sound is
not
like
good.
80% there, but the actual integration of like a rev limiter experience or like an engine braking downshift, that is so well done.
It's crazy that Hyundai did it first. Not only did they do it first, but they did it exceptionally well too. Like they
did
crushed
really
it.
well. But
Someone
the Model
said
S
get
is
the
going to be a better
LC.
bang for your buck. The Tesla's always going to be a better bang for your buck on paper.
Someone said you should get an LC. He won't.
I want an
He won't.
LC.
He won't though.
Join the Patreon, tell your mom to subscribe, smash the like button so I can afford an LC.
He won't get an LC.
I
though.
want it so
He
bad.
just won't.
I want it.
Matt and I
One
also
day.
we
I will own one day.
we sometimes talk about
By the way, I'm sitting on 2 LC videos to edit. We had to go on the hybrid this year, and then another V8 convertible.
I didn't even get to drive the V8.
Yeah, because you were where? You were somewhere.
I forgot. It just didn't work out.
He has a life. So.
But Matt and I always talk about co-purchasing a car together and then splitting
Yes.
time. And we sometimes talk about the LC
You know what we could do?
lease.
We could lease
Co-lease
an Ioniq 5N,
Ioniq 5N, yeah.
and then co-lease an LC5 or co-own an LC500. We agree on spec too for both of them. I think
Yes.
it'd be flare yellow LC.
100%.
What's the interior though? Because they can do like the blue and the white.
Black.
Black.
I'd prefer black.
I would like the blue and the white, but I could understand how that would pigeonhole us a little bit in the market.
Yeah, yes.
But we agree on yeah, no, I get it.
But we also talk about doing the V8 RS5.
Yeah. What is that, like I forget what the generation's called. I don't know, Audi stuff. Anyway. But yes, the generation of RS5.
Was it like
It was like the first generation of RS5.
what was it, the 8.5?
It was like 4.2 liter V8. It's basically the R8 V10 minus 2 cylinders, which is to say that it's a Lamborghini V10 minus 2 cylinders. And it sounds amazing. And,
And
it looks
they
amazing.
still look great. They're
And
timeless.
it's got 4-wheel drive. And yeah, it's going to break probably a lot.
Yes.
And it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be worth
Yes.
it.
Yeah, probably a lot, yeah.
I feel like there was a question in here that we didn't answer.
No, I think we
Was there
answered
anything in
all
here?
of them.
Okay, take us up to the top. Get the LC. Yes.
Okay, we have 27. Well, I guess we can go over, but let's talk news, mate.
All right, we'll go to the first one. We've got this kind of organized by brand. So Audi killed off the A4. It's gone, which I think makes sense because they're bringing a new A5 or 5 generation. Oh, we got $10. Thank you, Cardiel4. Appreciate
Well,
it.
he also
What did he say?
said, look into buying the Vernasca leather seats from a donor car and retrofit driving. It's a very doable retrofit. Huh.
I have seen people retrofit G80 M3 comp seats into their M340s.
That'd be pretty cool.
It looks cool.
But
Like,
these
there's
are things
packages that you can buy
you
online
could
too.
consider. I bet you could find like one a total car that the interior is fine,
Could be, yeah.
and that'd be a fun weekend project. I mean, you just built a shed for God's sake.
I built
what
a
can't
shed.
you do?
I'm so masculine.
What can't you
I
do?
built
now?
a shed with a lot of help from other people, like actual carpenters, but like, hey, I could do it. No, I have looked into it. That is, depending on how long I keep the car, that's something I would look into, is retrofitting either Vernasca seats or even
Guys, I'll tell you this
Going
much.
M
Matt
seats.
isn't keeping a car for more than 2 years, so I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Don't
You know what?
say
He also
that.
told me he was gonna fix a tint That would drive me insane. There is messed up tint on the rear driver's side window.
When they were taking the
It's
window
about
sticker off the car, when I bought it, they
2/4
ripped the
size
tint.
rip. And
About that big.
I don't know how you see it every day and not want to fix it. It would
I
drive
don't
me
see it every day.
mental.
'Cause I don't drive my car every day. You know what also drives me mental? My splitter
Your
is
front
all
splitter.
chewed up.
Yep.
It's getting fixed. I'm already making steps. Not those steps, but I do have the resonator kit for the exhaust. So the next thing that'll happen, my Christmas gift to myself probably this year, is anniversary roundels, splitter, tint fix.
Yeah.
Probably
good.
PPF the front too.
Wait, you were supposed to tell me about that.
I haven't looked into it yet.
Which, by the
Why
way,
do you think I'm gatekeeping information for you? I would never do that.
I don't know. I guess if anybody else owns a BMW, I'm really curious about this. This is the first car on my wife's car, the X3 M40. There's like noticeably large chips that go all the way to the metal. Probably
Where?
like 5.
On the front?
On the front. And I've
Thin paint on the front, maybe?
never experienced that in another, to this degree. Maybe one
To
or
this
two.
day. I've never experienced it to this day.
But to say 5 pretty decently sized chunks
That's a lot.
that I'm going to have
Big
to
chunks.
fix because now it's bare metal. Imagine if salt, rust,
Yeah.
Midwest winters, not a good combination.
Yeah, we should PPF.
Yeah, so
PPF besties.
you'll have to keep me posted on that.
I will look into it.
So they're killing
Anyway.
they're killing the A4 series. It's only
Yes. Thank you again, Cardio, for the donation. I'll keep you posted on the seats. It'll be on the channel if I do anything. But yes, they're killing the A4, which I guess makes sense
yeah.
because the A5
Sport
looks
back.
better. The Sportback is awesome. You get like the same rear seat space and you get lift back.
You can't see it on here, but friggin' Matt's been looking at vans and they're all right here.
Stop showing them my targeted ads, dude. Stop outing
It's
me.
hilarious.
But this is the new 5. This is the new A5, which looks cool. It looks good.
This is the S5, yeah.
Yeah. I like the
and
wheels.
Matt and I were just talking, like, I feel like the
Audis are handsome.
S5s, I feel like have kind of just lost their sizzle for me. Like, I used to own an S4,
Yeah, you did.
a B8,
And you called it something silly.
Ettinger, because that's the street that it was manufactured in. That's pretty cool.
You didn't want to call it Howdy?
Wow, what I
Like Howdy, partner?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I'm making the beer. Be right back.
No, I didn't want to call
Take
it.
these people through a journey of
Howdy.
cars. Car news.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He just got the Beamer. Why would he want to sell it? Well, what do you do when you have that sort of sickness? ADHD. It really is a sickness. And I'm proud of him. He's off his medication. He's a new man. I feel like it's a good looking S5. I don't know. I feel like Audis just don't really do it for me anymore. Like, I really liked the B8 and the B8.5, but I don't
They're
know.
handsome.
Where they just kind of like lost me a little bit.
Can I do a quick plug?
Sure.
Shout out to New Glarus. This, by the way, is the best beer that they make. Two Women, not
Not
Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow?
Everyone thinks it's Spotted Cow. It's not. Two Women is better. Also, I was at an event. They gave me this. This is a Dodge bottle opener, which is incredibly on brand for Dodge.
It is.
But also, I feel like sends the wrong message.
Yeah, did you know that there's a spot for that in the car?
Yeah, well, for sure. It's got like a built-in little pocket. Okay, what's next? I like the new A5. We'll definitely drive it with Audi Milwaukee.
A6 e-tron, 400 miles of range.
Click on it. It looks kind of
362
interesting.
horsepower, 500. Yep, let's see.
Audi's going to do a lot. Audi has said that they're going to basically revamp their entire lineup within the next
I
year
was
or
looking
two.
at this earlier.
It looks all right.
actually think it looks
It
okay.
looks Audi, It looks fine.
I actually really like the tail, or the rear end of this. The logo's like
Yeah.
lit up within the tail light. It looks pretty sick.
I'll tell you what I don't like, the $80,000 starting price.
Yeah, that is.
I do like if they're going to get close to 400 miles per charge. I do like that.
I think I was reading it's going to be pretty slow though. Yeah. 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. And the Quattro can do 4.3.
But that's the base. That's not the S, though. So that's fine. To
Well,
me, it's fine.
Yeah.
The S is going to have like almost 550 horsepower. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. It looks big. It looks like it'll be heavy. But it looks clean. Look at all those. Jeez, look at that screen.
Yeah, that is insane. See, look at that's pretty slick.
That's
the
nice.
rear.
That's nice. Those are the ones I bought, by the way. Coming soon to a video near you as soon as it gets cold.
Yeah, wait, look at this. This interior is pretty
Look at this.
nice.
Look at that. Hold on. Scroll for the people. Oh no, what have I done? There it is. I don't know. It's handsome.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. We're not going to get the digital side view mirrors because this is America and we don't like technology apparently. But whatever, it's fine. RS3. A lot of Audi news. I apologize.
$50,000.
Same wheels as the new 5. It looks like. A little bit more power, like 20 more horsepower. It looks cool. The front. Go back. Oh, this right here. I hope you guys can see it. This looks cheaper to me than having the logo stand by itself. Thoughts?
Than having the logo stand by itself.
Yeah, because you know the rings are usually like lower and
Yeah,
like their
within
own.
it, I agree. I think it looks better in the. I actually really like the 3. I would get an RS3.
You've talked about getting an RS3
Yeah.
before.
In the like cement. They're cement.
They're Nardo gray.
Yeah, Nardo gray.
Audi was like the first people to like dive into the Nardo thing.
Didn't they trademark Nardo?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's their thing. I think somebody needs to tell Audi. I don't know. I'm torn on this because someone needs to tell them that just making interesting headlights is not styling a car. You can do more things.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
That's
their
what.
cars are always handsome.
That's like what started their revamp though. Is
Yeah.
they went hard on the taillights
Yeah, it
and
was
headlights.
that what B8 A4 had like the little
Yep.
the little dippy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing those on the road and I was like, we were in college I think or like late high school and I was like, I want one of those so bad.
Well, it's like if
so
they spent
cool.
that much time on headlights and taillights, imagine how they engineered it.
Right.
It's good marketing.
Porsche. Oh, they're walking back their EV thing. They went real hard on the EV
Well,
thing.
a lot of people are walking it back. Because
Right,
I mean,
we'll get to that
hybrids,
too.
hybrids just make a lot more sense in this day and age.
They do.
Except Toyota's doing a solid state, which is pretty cool.
I will go ahead and say that like when they came out however many years ago it was now and said that everything is going to be EV by 2030 or 2035 even, I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
We don't even
Like-
have the infrastructure if we
like-
wanted to do it.
Fully black and white statements like that just never play. There's always nuance, there's always exceptions. And I think there should be. For smaller things, EV, fine. What's this one? Oh, what Porsche's also said, which screw them for this, is that they say the same thing that we love about the Ioniq 5N, the shifting and the sounds.
It'll make it worse.
They say that it makes the cars worse. They have no plans for it, which
Well,
that's
theoretically,
lame. That's lame.
it makes it slower, but I think it's
Who
subjective.
cares?
It's subjective to say that makes it worse, right? Some would say.
Yeah.
Because it was technically slower on the
Porsche-
track. It was, wasn't it?
I guess
was
this is
slower
the
on the
thing.
track?
This is the thing. Here's my hot
slower on the
here's my
track.
hot take for the day, and I'm probably gonna regret saying this, but like, Porsches are cool. I respect them,
They're snobby.
but they're not for me. It's not that they're snobby. It's just that they're so good at performance that I don't think they have like the thing that I'm looking for, like the character. Like I like an inherently flawed or weird vehicle. I like the LC because it's not actually that fast, but it sounds amazing. It has one standout feature.
One, it looks good.
Sure, but it's like
great
it's
gas
not that
BS.
fast. But like I like the Hyundai Santa Cruz because it's weird. So like the Porsche is it's almost too good. And so them saying we
You don't
want
like-
our cars
you
to
don't like a
continue to be
perfect-
too good.
Yeah, you don't like
we
a
want our
perfect
cars to
car.
continue to be perfect.
That
Every,
is
every
interesting.
beautiful thing has one flaw.
This looks good. The new Lambo.
The Temerario. Temerario. I can roll my eyes.
Temeraro.
It
Temeraro.
looks like an AI render of a car, but it actually looks like this, and it's cool. Hybrid V8.
I love these
I'm into it.
DLRs.
So this is the Huracan replacement, and it looks like a Huracan replacement.
I like this exposed wheel.
I know this is hard. This is hard as hell. Yeah, this is almost like
That does it for me.
it's the entire back. Yeah, the entire back tread. You would love it because you're all about tire width now.
I'm all about
You're
tire
all
width.
about tire width. This is the thing that I'm also noticing is the
Exhaust.
tail light level exhaust. All of the supercars have it now.
Yeah. And it's
McLaren
interesting, they're all the
765
same-
LT.
They're all the same
Boom,
shape.
right there. Can I also say another little hot topic?
I would love to drive a Lambo.
I would love to drive this. This doesn't really get me that excited. I'll never own this. I'll never be able to afford this.
Right, but wouldn't you like to
just-
drive it?
Oh yeah, of course.
So what? How
But
does
like
that
I
not
don't
get you
I don't
excited?
like I don't yearn after this in the way
Yeah,
that I
'cause
did when I was a kid.
Well, right, because it's like in your mind it's unobtainable, which is sad.
I think so. It is
Which is
sad.
sad. Well, like why would you even go there if it's unobtainable, right? Why
Sure.
would you? It's like asking yourself, what would you do if you won $100 million? It's like, well, that doesn't really happen. Like that's not
Ooh,
gonna
somebody
happen.
asked. Sorry, real quick question break. Somebody asked opinions on iDrive 8. It's good. It's fine. I like iDrive. Whatever iDrive is in mine. I think it's 7. Yeah, it was pre-8. So it's got a little bit more physical tactility. The climate controls, for example, are not in the screen. I like that. The heated seat controls are not in a screen.
I feel like 8 initially is pretty confusing, but you get used to it pretty quickly.
You do. You get used to it in like about a day, day and a half.
Yeah, I think just with all new things, it takes the UI, UX, like the user experience is pretty good once you know what you're doing.
Yes. Of all of the systems that are now like so screen forward, iDrive is probably the best.
Yeah.
So.
Because you also had like your like hotkeys down below, like that were always kind of embedded like as a start menu on a computer.
Yep. It's solid. It's fine.
Yeah.
Lambo. Lambo's cool. It'll be good.
Lambo.
Hopefully we get to drive one. I would like to drive the Revuelto as well. Ah.
The tugboat.
The BMW M5 Touring.
It
You
looks
can
great.
tell that I was keeping links from like way back because this card's been out for a while. This has been all over the internet.
So many memes
with
of the weight.
memes about the weight. So it's like almost 5,500 pounds, I think, which is entirely too heavy. It just is. It's fine.
Crazy to think 2 of these weigh more than a Hummer.
What I will say is that I don't think the weight is as big a deal as people are making it out to be.
People want to see them out.
It is too heavy, and I agree it's too heavy, but it's not an M3. It's an M5. The M5 buyer is not an M3 buyer. The M3 buyer maybe takes their car on track. 10, 20% of them do. M5 buyer, never. They just want something fast, comfortable, and luxurious, and that's what that is. And it comes in a wagon. I will reserve judgment until I drive it. I think the weight thing is overblown. It is too heavy.
People wanted to see the screen. I think next time we'll somehow figure out a way to stream with the content on the screen and us simultaneously.
I apologize.
This was our first rodeo.
I'm going to be honest. My YouTube rep, which I now have, I feel like I've made it as a YouTube person. I have a YouTube rep now, and he's like, hey, you're kind of dropping the ball. You should live stream a little bit. So we're doing this. And then depending on how this goes, I think it would be fun to figure out some way to share screen, but then also maybe figure out a way that we can like sim race while we talk about some of this stuff, so people have something to look at.
Yeah, I think we can make it better.
Yes, it will get better. This will be the worst live stream, which I'm sure is what you love to hear right now.
It's only up from here.
Yes.
I think this car is really polarizing.
Yes. What?
It is, dude.
This is universally loved.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
It's not, dude.
Those people have no taste.
Well, at least they scream the loudest. Because when I look at comments,
I hate people.
I know. I don't know how, but people don't like this car, and I
genuinely don't understand.
I truly think this is one of the best looking cars I've ever seen in my life.
I would agree. I would go so far as to say this is the best looking thing on 4 wheels that's come out in the last
Hyundai is
5-10 years. This is spectacular. I love the Aeroblade, the rotiform wheels. Look at the hips. Look at the flares.
I could literally look at it all day.
It's so good.
You know,
it's so good.
You know what I like? I really like retro new things.
Yes.
Like the Land
This
Cruiser
is so
that we were
cyberpunk.
just in.
Yeah.
How it was like a retro interior with like the cloth, but you had a new screen. And it's like similar vibes to this from an exterior perspective.
Yeah.
But and like Hyundai's also done some teasers of like the interior.
Yeah. Of this?
Maybe it was something else. But when it's like retro with new modern technology.
Oh, they have that sedan, the Grandeur as well. That has like the chandelier inside. That is so pimp, dude.
Yeah.
I fall for that so hard. But this is cool. This is apparently heading to production.
By 2030.
This concept is a hydrogen electric. So it's hydrogen combustion to then make electric. It's powered by the electric motor.
They're making like between 100 and 200 of those.
Yes. So they're going to test it with like WRC, not WRC, but
some racing
GTD
division,
or something.
And
What's that
then
called?
they don't know if it's going to be hydrogen electric or just electric. It might be on the same underpinning architecture as the Ioniq 5N.
Yeah.
Is what they were
if it's
saying.
I would imagine This will be EV. It'll be the same chassis,
Yeah.
EGMP, as the Ioniq 5N. It'll have the fake shifting. Hopefully the sounds will be good by then.
I would give up.
Dude.
I would save up for this one, like heavily. I think it's
It's
actually hard for me to look at
I
it
would do illegal things to own that
because
car.
I love it so
I would
much.
do a lot of illegal things to own that car.
Let's skip that one.
The next story is just the new 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5. We talked about it. It's got the Tesla plug and it's got the horrible. Just show them the picture real quick, actually.
Of what?
This is the XRT.
Oh,
This is
ew.
their off-road one. This to me looks like a $30,000 Chevy Silverado work truck with this black cladding all over
Yeah, I
it.
don't like that.
This is offensive to me as somebody with eyes.
It should be a crime.
This is such a good car, and they've just slapped it with the ugly stick. I'm sorry I've taken such a harsh stance.
They also
That
need to
seems
get away
unnecessary.
from the angles in the door. Like it's just getting a little old. And
That's honestly probably what I'll wait for. I will get the Ioniq
you buff
5N
that
when
out?
it has the. Can you buff out the Hulk smash door
can you take it somewhere
on
to
your
get that?
Ioniq 5N?
The
Probably
next thing, Lexus wants sportier driving across the lineup.
Yeah, so Lexus has come out and said that they want a more sporty or engaging driving experience. That is to say, more Mercedes, more BMW,
So less
more
luxury,
German.
less luxury, more sporty.
Yes, and I have a note here. You can probably see it's all caps. It says "No!" exclamation point, because that's what Lexus's whole
Yeah.
thing is. Stop
That's
trying to
what
be something
separates
that's
them.
not Lexus.
Right.
Lexus, when I know that a Lexus is going to be in the driveway, I'm like, okay, I'm in for an incredibly luxurious week. It's not going to be super
Quality.
fast, but it's going to be really comfy, and it's going to get good fuel economy, and it's going to have incredible leather in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want from a Lexus.
Well, I also like Lexus because there's a lot of thought behind their design when you step in it. It's not like I feel like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they just throw screens at you and like they think that's what you want.
Well, and they just mimic the interiors across their entire lineup.
Right, it's all the same
Lexus
thing.
is a little bit different between models.
Lexus is unique. I mean, you step into an LC and it's like
Well, it's
someone cooked here.
incredibly bespoke. Yes.
Someone crafted in here.
There was a chef in here.
Yes.
Yes, chef.
There was a Gordon Ramsay in here.
Yes. Ford came out with a bunch of news. I am super into this. Not this one, but the Ford Maverick is being updated, so we will drive that later. They have a Lobo, which is like their lowrider.
Wait, I want to see
Where
it.
is it?
I'll just
It
search
looks awesome. When the first Maverick came out, they had this like concept street one with like the Aerodisc tires or wheels on them, and this is kind of playing into that a
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Look at that. Throw this one up.
Wait, is that it really?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
That's really cool.
Also, you can now get a Maverick. What was our biggest problem with the Maverick? You couldn't get the hybrid with all-wheel drive.
Yes.
Fixed.
About time.
You can now. You can now. I'm into that. I've always been pro Maverick, and I will continue to be pro Maverick.
Yeah, the Maverick was good. The Maverick was good.
Next. Four-door Mustang.
Okay, I feel like Ford is just calling everything a Mustang for promo, and
Might
it's
as well.
working.
It's working.
Because
Well,
they
I'll
did
tell
it
you-
with the Mach-E,
I'll tell you
and now
why
they're
this will
literally
work.
doing it again.
I'll tell you why this will work. Because Dodge has removed their Charger and the Hellcat, and now they've got this new Charger Daytona thing that's electric, and we know how Dodge people feel about electric cars.
They
So
love
Ford
them.
is just going to scoop this up. They're just going to scoop it up. They're like, here's a Charger 392.
Yep.
It's got a Ford Mustang logo on it, but here it is. Which honestly is great. 5-liter Coyote motor, that sound,
Yeah, you'll get the V8.
the new
yeah.
interior, I like it. I'm into it.
I mean, it's like a straight.
That's the Dodge.
Yeah, a straight. Yeah.
I think it looks okay. I mean, it looks good there. But yeah, 4-door Mustang with a 5.0 V8, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Jack it up, Safari it. I think that's another story. Somebody did that, or there was a render. That'd be sweet.
Bronco Sport.
Can we normalize Safariing other things? By the way, I talked about this in my M340 video.
No. Just because-
It's all Safari 911s. You can Safari an M340. You've got xDrive. It's fast. It sounds good. You throw a rack on top. It would be awesome.
Yeah, but it's just not. I think it's cooler when it's not practical. That's what makes it cool.
I hear you, but
No, if you did it to an LC, now you're talking.
That doesn't have all-wheel drive though.
No, it doesn't matter. That
Doesn't
makes
matter.
it cool.
Doesn't matter. Can you imagine a Safari LC500? Screw Whistling Diesel. We're gonna do it first.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hilarious. We have no money to do it, but we're gonna do it.
Bronco
Oh yeah.
Sport
You had thoughts about this one?
Sasquatch. I just think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. I just don't know who's buying.
Bronco Sport is updated for this year.
You know, Bronco Sports are actually selling quite a bit,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
I just had a go in the Bronco Sport. It was the freewheeling, so it had the stupid stripes all over it. It looked horrible.
But it's not a bad car.
But it was fine.
Yeah.
It's huge on the inside,
Yep.
which is what you want. But now they're giving it a Sasquatch package.
Dude, I don't know why I feel weird about being in like the little brother of a car.
You're insecure.
I don't know, maybe.
I get
But
it.
just
I
there's
get if you
something
are. I get it.
internally that's like I don't want to be in a Bronco Sport because I know there's something. It'd be like
It
driving.
feels like imposter syndrome because you could drive by the real one.
Right, exactly.
And chances are, because those sell pretty well, or they have done, you will drive by a real one.
Right.
And then you'll be like, oh.
Yeah, it's like people that bought Chrysler 300s because it looks like a Phantom.
Until the Phantom pull up. But just real quick, the Sasquatch package, I think you can get on the Badlands, which is what we drove originally. That was like your debut video, by the way. Do you remember that? We were going up to Tigerton still to off-road stuff.
Yeah.
We drove 3 hours up to some trail in northern Wisconsin. I had never really been off-roading before.
It held
and
its
you had
own.
the Jeep.
Yep.
And we off-roaded for like an hour, and then we went home for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
But the
7-hour
Badlands
day.
was fine. I mean, there's like some actual off-roading chops to it. Sasquatch package, bigger wheels, brush bar.
It doesn't have the biggest like height clearance.
Here's the thing, no one cares. No one's gonna care. Someone's gonna go on the lot, they're gonna see the brush bar, they're gonna see the wheels and tires, and they're gonna be like, that looks cool, I'll have that one. And I can't fault them for it. It does look cool.
I just.
I mean, it would
I
look.
don't-
You should just get a Bronco at that point.
I
but, like,
exactly. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's not the thing you think it is.
I don't think they're. Yeah. The person buying that doesn't know or care, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe they know, but they're just like, this is what I can have. This is what makes sense for me and my family.
Should we
Whatever.
pick like maybe one or two more things?
No, go down the list, bro. The people need the news.
There's no way I'm doing all this stuff.
Okay, you can leave. What's next? Just go. We'll go quicker. Lincoln.
Well, Raptor, bigger power, bump, Bronco, Ranger.
Yeah. Raptors, aside from the F-150, get a tune from the factory now. They make more power. It's good.
Ligoo.
Lincoln Navigator. Lincoln makes good looking cars.
They do.
The screen is huge too. Next.
Escalade.
Escalade, just show them the picture because it looks, this is the new Escalade,
Yeah.
which looks shockingly like the old Escalade.
What's new for 2025? Larger grille.
Doesn't matter.
No.
It's the headlights are a little bit squintier and there's a lot more screen.
The terrain.
GMC Terrain. There it is. Looks like a Terrain. You can get a two-tone roof. There you go. Next.
Yukon.
The Yukon looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'll give it up to the Yukon. The AC4 looks pretty cool. Doesn't look massively different from the old ones. Facelift.
Yeah, I like
But
the square exhaust.
it looks cool. I didn't do much research outside of that. That's the new Acadia interior, basically, the vertical screen. We have an Acadia video on the channel now, so
Yeah,
check that out
that
if
looks
you're
pretty
interested
good.
in the tech, because it's going to be the same. Corvette. You got to talk about the Corvette.
ZR1, yeah.
So this is ZR1.
I feel like this is one supercar I would like to own. Maybe not a supercar. I wouldn't call it a supercar, but like
I would call
obtainable,
this is very much a supercar.
extremely quick, driver-focused car.
Yeah. This is what, 1,064 horsepower or something like that?
I mean, $180,000 though is just a little steep.
Yeah, so you used the word like attainable earlier. I don't know about that.
1,000 horsepower, yeah, that is crazy. So
Over
bigger
1,000 horsepower.
brakes, carbon ceramic brakes for 2025. New wheel designs. I like the color.
I love the
we
yellow.
both like yellow.
Yellow and the light blue. Eddie's got a light blue
Yes.
Z06.
Does he still have it?
He does.
Hmm.
But that's a good
And a
spec.
Z06?
That's a tasteful spec.
It is.
I think, me personally, I'm having a Z06. Flat plane, naturally aspirated. That's good enough for me.
I wonder how much they are on like the used market. I'd be curious.
About the same price as an Audi R8.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a R8 or a
That's
C8?
that's a big question. R8 V.
This is the V10 though.
It's V10, yeah. So R8 V10 versus Corvette Z06. So I recently drove very briefly an R8 GT, which is like their final send-off version, and it was very cool.
Yeah.
And it's very V10.
You liked it.
I love sound.
Well, you like mid-engine's good.
But here's the thing. Since we live in Milwaukee and we pull from the Chicago fleet, we haven't had a go in the Z06.
I know.
So I can't answer this question.
We need to drive one.
I know. Maybe in LA.
I actually think the Daytona looks pretty good.
I think it looks cool. The fact is they will have an electric one and they will have a non-electric one. And the electric one is going to make V8 sounds, but it's not going to have shifting. So
I think that's lame. That's a miss.
yeah, I don't know.
I also wonder how good the V8 sound's gonna be.
There's recording online, you can find it. It sounds fine. Maybe it sounds different in person, but
Yeah.
it sounds more authentic than the Ioniq 5 sounds. But
I saw a video.
if you're not going to have it tied to shifting, I don't really
What we were just in the Escape? No, we were in the Explorer.
Explorer.
And we said it sounded good.
hmm
I saw a video of someone post a video from the exterior doing a drive-by.
With the Explorer?
Yeah, and it's like all pumped in. Like it sounds not like that on the exterior.
And for that reason, when people
it's
get
hard to notice, though.
when people get upset about like EVs pumping in sound, it's like
a lot of
they've been
cars
doing
already
this
do
forever.
that. But I do like how in most
Might as
cars
well just
now
have a good sound
you
pumped in.
can't tell.
Yeah.
The Ioniq 5N.
It's hidden well.
It like wasn't a good track.
No.
It's like my voice.
It sounded very synthetic. Mazda.
New logo.
They have a new logo. It looks like the old logo. But they also have an electric Mazda 6, which is not going to come to America. It looks kind of cool.
The EZ6.
I'm into this like gold, bronze, copper, metallic paint. Lexus has a bunch of them. This one looks pretty cool. It looks pretty Chinese on the inside. Show them the dash. Yeah.
That
looks like,
screams Chinese to you?
That looks like Lotus BYD. Yes.
I didn't get that impression. That's interesting that you did though.
When's the last time you looked at a BYD?
Well, I just meant Chinese. Like, I didn't get
Watch what you say next. Show them the Nissan Armada.
what people have been waiting for.
People have been craving the Armada.
Anyway.
There it is. There's a new one.
I'll tell you what, they are good with their photos. The landscaping looks good. I wonder if this is AI rendered though.
I like the green paint. It looks kind of cool. It looks a pretty Sequoia, but all right.
It still looks like a whale.
I'm past it. Okay, I do have to talk about this because I am personally offended that VW has the nerve to charge over $70,000 for the electric bus, the ID Buzz thing. It's what, $65K?
Yeah, that was like
for
70.
for rear-wheel drive. If you want all-wheel drive, which in Wisconsin you probably will want it, $71,000 plus to start.
Yeah.
That is offensive, and it is insane. And VW is going to be like, why don't people buy EVs? Because you've priced it to the moon. This looks awesome. It looks incredible. It's huge inside. I'm sure it would be cool, but it's an ID4 that you're charging $70-something thousand for. I'm offended.
It is cool.
I'm offended.
It is.
It looks awesome.
It is frustrating that they're charging that much though. What's this one?
Damn it, VW.
VW Jetta.
Oh, the GLI. This looks good.
Yeah, I agree.
Clean, handsome look. Little red bar underneath. Looks good. It's going to have a little bit more power, I'm sure. GLI,
Volvo.
GTI, always solid. Always going to be solid. Volvo. So this is their EX90, which is their big 3-row electric car, which I haven't read too much about, but I have heard from our colleagues that they're being delivered with equipment not on them.
Like what?
Because things are taking too long. They're like, oh, we're going to update this over the air. But for right now, there's certain features that aren't going to be on your car, which
Well,
I would be annoyed by.
they finally integrated with.
They've got
CarPlay,
Google
right?
built in,
Yeah.
so
That-
that seems to be the thing that everyone's doing.
Yeah. How often did you find yourself, like with the more recent cars, using your Google Maps versus the integrated Google Maps?
I never use their Google Maps.
You still don't?
I don't.
It's nice when you're.
I'm a creature of habit, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Tell them about Apple Wallet.
It's not even worth telling that story. It's really not.
It almost broke our friendship.
Just listen. If you're a
Just
person
listen.
out there, and someone's giving you advice that could help you, maybe try and listen. That's all I'll say about it.
But if you think that you know better and you're also scared to change, don't listen to your friend.
No, the reason I liked using the Google Maps, especially
In the lyric.
in the electric cars, is it'll tell you what your range percent
Yeah.
will be when you arrive.
Look, I'm not saying that my way is better, just like with the Apple Wallet thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my way is better. I'm
You
just
just didn't
saying
do it.
I get by with my way,
Right.
and change is scary.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But we also have a job here to do when we have the cars.
Yes, that's true. We should test things, and I do test things, but I do fall back on habits, which I'm trying to grow. 2025 will be the year of personal growth for me, and that'll be good
Why start tomorrow what you can start today?
because I'm tired today.
This looks good
is,
too.
Yeah. So this is
Not too much of a difference.
2025/2026 Volvo XC90, facelifted, looks great. It's
I-
gonna have the Volvo thing. It's
I
gonna
feel like
look
it's
fantastic.
one of the best looking SUVs.
100%, and it continues to be to this day.
Yeah, to this day, absolutely.
But yeah, I like it. Volvo's also walking back their full EV thing. They were going to be full EV by 2030, I think.
Yeah.
And now they're like plug-in hybrids, which I think is the right call,
Well,
especially for the bigger stuff.
when is Toyota coming out with their? We didn't even touch on all the Toyota recalls. You didn't have anything about that.
That's old news.
Is it really?
It's oldish.
It's like 2 weeks old. Plus 2
We
weeks.
haven't had the
Plus 2
Tacoma
weeks.
for 2 weeks, and we talked
Plus-
about it in that video.
Plus 2 weeks.
Plus like 2 months, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toyota's having recall issues with their Tundra and LX engines, and then also Tacoma transmissions.
And it was like in the millions of vehicles.
There's no way they sold millions of those things.
Sorry, it wasn't millions. I'm an idiot. Hundreds of thousands.
Now you're just stirring the pot. You're just making shit up. People come to Downshift for hard facts.
I'm gonna look. No.
This. Now we're fake news. I can't. I cannot. But yes. So this is one of the topics that we're gonna.
100,000 vehicles.
That's still a lot, but yes.
a lot of vehicles.
But yes, this is something that we're gonna talk about in our Defender video actually. When we shoot this weekend, is like Toyota, Lexus have always been like the go-to reliable off-road stuff for your mainstream people.
Things are shaky.
And because they've been bulletproof. But
New
now
arc.
with the new F chassis cars,
That's why they don't change architecture.
now with the new F chassis, they've got engine stuff, they've got transmission stuff, so that opens the door for people like Land Rover.
Someone said, "Where's Sadie?"
Sadie is in the other room, but she's doing well. She's recovering from a surgery, so she's doing well. But yeah, the Toyota Land Rover thing, it's not like Land Rover is got a great reputation for reliability.
No, they don't.
But if Toyota's going to fumble a little bit, that
Maybe they
opens the
can,
door. And now Land Rover is integrating BMW parts. Maybe the B58 gets under the hood of the Defender. I mean, it's already a 3-liter inline 6 turbo with a mild hybrid. Sounds suspiciously like what's in my car. Just throw it in.
Right.
Gets incredible fuel economy. 400 horsepower. Bulletproof.
There's a plan. We should work for the manufacturers.
We should do that. We should consult.
Let us know what style, I guess, of live stream you guys want to see, whether that's us sim racing or just being able to see the monitor, what we're sharing. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
That seems like a logical step one.
Yeah, but I don't know if like the lighting was good. I don't know how else to like make these better.
I'm worried about the lighting. But yes.
You're not worried about the lighting?
Let us know in the comments.
I am.
I can address it
shook
right
about
now.
the lighting.
Oh, I'm using my phone to stream, but
Oh, you have the.
yes,
the
please let us
paddle
know if you like this format where we cover some of the news stuff and some updates for the channel, or if you'd like to see us just kind of like race or play video games and hang out.
Yeah, or just like talk about.
And then maybe still cover some like news stuff.
Or just talk about what we've driven, what we would buy.
Yeah. What have we driven recently that we liked? Let's go to the thing.
The Ioniq 5N.
The Ioniq 5N. That was very good. Super Pacific thing was good. The Explorer was fine. Hummer EV was unique.
Oh, I like the
wouldn't
Lyriq.
recommend it. The Lyriq was very good.
Wait, but why are you going through? What was the point of this?
I'm just trying to think of what we've driven recently that was really good. M3. You love the M3.
Yes.
You might own one, but probably the M850.
Yes.
Trailhunter Tacoma. Thoughts? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. His Paulo lives his life by a code, and it's if the Google rating is less than 4 stars, he's not even going to entertain going there.
Right, but
So what's the rating for
why
the Tacoma?
would you waste your time going somewhere that people have inherently experienced a shitty time?
Because sometimes I get a referral from somebody that I trust, and they said that I had a good experience at this place, and then I don't look at the rating, and then I go based on somebody that I trust because I
And-
trust people. It sounds like you have trust issues.
What I'm going to say is that person's standards do not align with mine.
See, now that sounds incredibly douchey. It sounds incredibly arrogant and douchey.
I was half kidding.
Let me tell you, Fiat 500.
No.
It's a better car than you expect. Not as a car per se,
Dude, no
It's a
one's
very
buying it
good
as a
golf
fucking go-kart or a golf
but
cart.
it would be a good golf cart for a senior community.
No, wait. You asked me to rate the Trailhunter.
Oh yeah, please
I would
do.
say 4.2.
4.2.
Not enough of the gas capacity was tiny.
Yeah, the tank was small. What did you call it in the video?
I think I called it something.
Miles
else.
per tank.
Yeah, miles
Not
per tank.
range. Miles per tank.
And
Miles per tank was
the
small.
back seats, you don't have a lot of
Back seats were
room,
super small.
but it made incredibly awesome noises.
Yeah, it had all sorts
How
of turbo
warm
spoolies.
do you keep your house? I feel like it's 72.
It's because the
in
door
here.
is shut. It's hot.
I feel like it's at least 72 degrees in
Kia
here.
EV9. That's
One
a
of my
good-
favorite
that's a
SUVs
good
I've ever
SUV.
driven.
X6M. You wanted to buy that.
I don't know if I wanted to buy it, but I loved it.
You did love it. And the last one I'll talk about is the Cadillac Soleil, which I was very fortunate to go out to Detroit and have some time with it. I was one of 4 people that actually had an hour to walk around it, which, thank you Cadillac, that was very nice of you. But really cool car. I mean, just fabulous to look at. Old money, old luxury, very Gatsby-esque,
Yeah.
very cool. But yeah, that's it. Do we have any other questions or anything? If not, thank you guys for being here. Please leave comments down below so we can
Someone's
form
concerned about
these.
your drinking. They said you're drinking. Things will turn around.
I am drinking. I've turned to the bottle. The bottles.
Someone asked, what's the brand with the best infotainment system?
Whatever brand has physical buttons for climate controls.
Well, no, some
Like the
people
Land
do.
Rover out there does.
Some people do a good job of integrating it, though.
I think Hyundai does a good job, actually.
Yeah, because they name it at the bottom.
Even some of their climate stuff is built into a screen, but it's dedicated down there. You know which one I hate is in the Kia EV6, where you have that button to toggle between media or
Yeah.
climate. Can't stand that. Can't stand it.
I feel like you can
Mazda
get used to it,
does
though.
well. Honda's all right. Yeah, anyone with physical buttons for
Yeah.
climate is fine.
Yeah, but let us know for next time what you guys want to see.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Leave it down in the comments. And
Yeah, thanks for joining, guys.
we'll see you next time.
Later.
I have to go figure out how to turn this off. Oh, it's an experience.
It is, dude, so
How